Today is 23rd of September 2023. And today is our 173 session number, weekly session 173rd. Before I go into today's discussion of attaining serenity from turmoil and chaos, we'll go into that. We'll go into that after a few minutes. First, I have few, intentions to share with you. So that intentions are that this year we will, as you know, that we are planning for. Earlier we have mentioned about the workshops, physical workshops. This is needed, heavily needed in this particular year. This is a year of light activation. We just, in the beginning I explained. And that particular, the light activation part of it, during Guru Purnima day, Babaji has blessed. There is a special ritual we have done in this group. You know that whoever attended, we have done that. You can say that is a initiation of that process for all of us. I have been instructed by Babaji to follow up with these two further activities of two further. You can say it should be a camp, a spiritual camp. Out of that, first one will be in Benares, Varanasi. It is ancient, one of the ancient city we have in India. It is Shaktisthal. It is a place of Lahari Mahashay, and I have been instructed to do that camp there when I visit India next. Tentatively, it will be what I'm planning to do is to go in the middle of December. I'm planning to go to India, and then I will visit several places, and definitely this will be conducted tentatively. I'm just saying 16 and 17 of December in Varanasi. A detail I will post it later. I'm just saying that I'm putting the intention, and all this already granted by Babaji, and this is the place where Lahari Mahashay, if you read the autobiography of a yogi, Lahari Mahashay met with Mataji there, and Mataji's description is there. First we come to know about Mataji from that book in this lifetime, and that place is actually Varanasi. It is an ancient city, and personally, this particular one, Varanasi, is the place where I had my past birth with. I have one brother and one sister in that life. So that detail I will share later on, but very long time back in ancient time, and that time in the Mataji raised us that time. Mataji, she's unmarried, but we have. There was some big story there. So we came through the Ganges in the baskets. Three of us, three brothers and sisters. And then we came in the Ghat of Varanasi, and Mataji took us from there, and then preparation, all these things happened there. So all this will reveal that time. Whoever has attended last year Guru Purnima camp in Gangasagar, then also there is one Shaktisthal we visited that is also connected to one of my past life. I explained there what happened. All of you who attended, they visited, and we got that. And this particular, of course, that reminds me that this particular place, Shaktisthal, where it happened, we visited in Sundarban actually. That place was connected through Antacellular river, means subsurface river. It was connected where the Babaji used to give his discourses in below a tree. And that tree, today you have seen our member, my dear friend and classmate Shambhu has visited, and he posted that pictures of Babaji. We are in touch before, of course, that all the guidance and all things he needed there. And so the one of the picture of a tree is there where he's touching his forehead in one of the photographs. That is the tree where Babaji used to sit below the tree and for his discourses. That particular tree has a root much, much below the ground. When I went there in 2015, November, and we visited, sat down in this tree, and the tree, this particular tree started communicating with me. And then the tree showed everything, all the history of that place. And that is how I come to know that tree is deep rooted. The root has gone to much, much below. Even the mountain is one of the Himalayan range, much, much below the mountain and touching some subsurface river. That river is connected with all other rivers in India. And that through that connection, it is connected to the tree I'm talking about and the Sundarban, where we had that workshop or our camp, our this last year Guru Purnima camp, Angasagar camp. That is the place. I'm just explaining. So whoever attended, they have seen it. That photograph is also there. That this is the tree. Okay. All right. Let me come back to that. Our intention, which is now granted by Babaji. So, for complete the light activation of light activation is means this is we receive that spiritual energy in the coded light form. We receive them, and it is actually showering on Mother Earth, and we are all part of the Mother Earth. We are the cell of the body, and we receiving them continuously. But that particular aspect, we need to have a certain kind of, we need masters to help us to get those, to receive it properly and activating our own body cells so that our ascension happens. We are going to a spiritual awakening, or this happens. So this is the light code which we are receiving, and activation that needs some process, which is the physical in nature, by some master, and who is authorized by, in our case, it is Babaji. So it is that light code need to be activated cellular level. So there is a process involved. That process will be done in two parts. First part, what I am just said, that in Varanasi, in the month of December, tentatively final date will be announced, but tentatively, just you can say the 16 and 17 of December, which is a Saturday second half, and Sunday full day will be there. And I will stay for 2 more days in Varanasi. That is on 18 and 19. So if there is any personal sessions, that will be done on the Mondays. And Tuesday will be just roaming around, visiting other places. But actual learning session, activation, etc., will be done on Saturday evening and Sunday morning. Sunday morning will include the water kriya in the Ganges. That is the place where the Matajis, the place, the ghat, will go there and we'll have that water kriya there. That is our intention. And also during the process, we connected to ancient Varanasi. There is a huge spiritual energy at the Varanasi. It is energy center, and we will connect to the one spiritual temple, or I should say, and that is in the energy dimension. It's not physical. We of course will visit that Shiva temple there, Vishwanath temple. That is, we'll visit there, or if somebody wants to offer puja, etc., they are free to do it. But our purpose is not to go and give the puja there and all those things. We'll do our own, rituals and our own practices to do there. We'll visit, but then we'll not. Then we'll go to the river Ganges to do our water Kriya. The night before, we'll have a fire Kriya. The fire Kriya, those who attended that Ganga Sagar camp, they know very well what the fire Kriya is. We'll have that in Varanasi also. Because fire Kriya and water Kriya has to be, it is compensating. We need to do it together. Like means in the same visit. And it's also needed as a special ceremony for the light activation at our cellular level. So this is the plan. And if you have some personal, things one-on-one, that I'm planning on Monday, because somebody who has they cannot take leave or something, they can come for Saturday, Sunday, and Varanasi is well connected with all over India by flight. Flight route and airport is there. So you can plan for 2 days, but as I mentioned, I will stay for 2 more days there. So if somebody wants to have the better, like a full-fledged the camp experience, and including the personal one-on-one meeting plus discussion and all those things, that will be done on Monday and Tuesday, and we'll roam around other places and visit many other places of. This is a historical place, so we'll visit that on Tuesday maybe. So those all can be arranged. That's up to your interest. But the activation, what I'm talking, that will be done on Saturday and Sunday. That Sunday one, with the water Kriya and the river Ganges will be Karmakshalan as well. You need to shed off a lot of karmic anchoring, what is happening. Most of us, we basically suffer from this karmic thing. So karmic entanglements or some unsettled karmic accounts. So those are the processes to get it settled, and then it will open ourselves for the light code activation within us. Okay. Now the second part of that, what I'm planning is to visit Babaji's cave, collectively all together as we are one group. So Shambhu has now collecting all the informations, and we are in, make the arrangements we need. Of course, there will be an arrangement, but it will be, even though I visited in the month of November during Babaji's birthday, that is the time I visited, but in 2015, but visiting that in winter time is not easy, and there will be very cold and all those things. So that is why I don't want to visit that in December. Okay, so even though I will be staying in India for maybe up to end of December this time, I'll go maybe second week or maybe around 10, 11 or this kind of December, and I will continue up to end of December. But I will not plan to visit in this Babaji's cave during December. It is extremely cold that time. It's not easy to visit that time. So we'll plan it some other time when the temperature, etc., is better. So that is the plan. The exact date is not finalized. We'll announce it there. But these two camp, there is I'm just planning, and that's what it will help you to get it to go ahead with your own planning. So I'm just telling you in advance so you can plan that accordingly. And as I mentioned, those who cannot take leave, they can come only for the weekend, and others who can afford to take leave or something, they can stay back with me for all 4 days. Okay, in Varanasi. It will be having learning, it will be having the group meditation, Kriya, fire Kriya, water Kriya, rituals, special rituals for light code activations. And then also individual sessions. If you have any issues, you can discuss, and we can have a special, advice during that. And as you know, we'll have that connection of Babaji that time. So it will be whatever you will be getting advice that time. It will be with full connection of Babaji and that all this vibration and energy field will be created. Normally in the physical presence, we invoke Babaji's energies to create, which is a spiritual level by the masters. It is called Tathastu field. Tathastu means whatever a wish, it will be granted. So that is not possible through videos, okay, in video call. So that will be created there, and we will be doing that. Okay, I'm just detail will follow, but I'm just saying that you can prepare, plan yourselves, and you can keep the book, those dates. Varanasi dates are final. We'll visit, unless until some unforeseen situation happen. I hope I'll be able to visit, and that will surely happen. 16 and 7, 16, 17, 18, 19 of December. Okay. All right. So now we'll come to our today's topic, which is that attaining serenity from turmoil and chaos. First point of this topic is why life experiences are often full of turmoil and chaos. Okay. Uh, Now, if we see the way we operate our life, we are all good people. We are not, we are not something who is crooked and criminal-minded people, because simply it is shown that those who are at least interested in spirituality, it cannot come from that high ego crooked mindset, which is not possible, that you cannot sustain that this kind of thing. So we are basically good people, and we wanted to do whatever our understanding, our the what life offers to us. We try to do our best, do our duty, and honestly we try to take care of our near and dear ones, and our parents, families, and all those. And of course we are householders, we need to earn, and we have to earn our living and the pay bills and all those things. So all these are part of our living, and all of us we are doing. But we are with our experiences, I say normally. So I'm not talking about the spiritual masters now. I'm talking about the in general, common people, common people like you and me. What our life experiences are like, no matter what effort we do, no matter what, good intention we put, try to do something, we often face turmoil and chaos. We break our mental peace, and we dragged into something or other. Some conflict is a bigger this thing, like a trouble or disagreement and fighting, and all those things is very common, and life is full of those experiences. Then we come with a surprise that why it is happening. हिंदी में बोलते हैं कि मैं किसको क्या बिगड़ा, why I'm facing all these things. It is quite common that we are asking ourselves very often that I didn't do any harm, I didn't meant any harm to anyone, then why I'm being harmed? Why this is happening to me? It's a puzzle, and honestly, that in that we have our experiences shows, that life is unfair. Okay, we know we expect nothing but a fair return from life. Fair. Okay, because we are giving a lot of efforts and our intentions are good. We are good people. We don't mean any harm to anyone. But why you have to go through all those things? Why we suffer with all these kinds of things? And when it comes, most of the time it comes with many. Okay, all this, there is a saying that trouble doesn't come alone. It brings a lot of its friends, and one after another, something bad is happening. And we have to face, and we need to do something. And some places it is too hard that even we stop complaining. To whom I will complain? No, who will listen? Who has a time? Nobody has time for anybody else. And most of the time we feel that it is, and this is I'm sharing our normal experience. This part I'm not sharing the truth. No? Just hold it. I'll come to later on. I'm just saying how we feel, how we experience. Most of the things we feel that these are caused by selfishness of other people. Other people, they're so selfish. They are the sources of our creation of trouble for me. I have a right to live, and this our life has been threatened by all these things. Somebody doing it intentionally, somebody unintentionally, somebody actually we can undergo a lot of cheating, lot of unfairness, and people go to a form of art form, you know, how to how to do bad things on us and not to take any responsibility or even acknowledgement of that. Forget about acknowledgement. It's a high, acceptance of that is high level of high quality. So honesty, there is a saying, well, honesty is a very rare quality. You don't expect from common people, and that is actually coming from our normal experiences of life. So, okay, forget about whatever the reason is and whatever the situation is. Of course, everybody's situation is different, and but what it happens to us, what it makes us, we become troubled. We are mentally got upset, irritated, anger, and very common. But this is and in what is repeatedly happening, we get frustrated and we don't know what to do. So we need to have some kind of, and the demand of the our like duties of our profession, etc., that is added to on it. Means those people, what I'm saying, those are not only in our personal life, they're in a professional life as well, and they play their own games. And if there is a game added to some level of power, authority, then the game changes. Our effect on our lives become multiplied, because it is coming from authority. We cannot say anything, and we have to see, we understand everything, but we cannot do anything because it is not always we can choose just to quit and find something better. Sometimes by compulsion of that, we need some earning, we need a living, we stick to it, we accept it. But in the process, it has a toll on our psyche, on our condition, inner state. It is disturbed. We are completely stressed, and that reflected in the form of some kind of disease and the blood pressures, and even some like mental health issues sometimes. So those are real, very real. So now the escape route from that, I've seen plenty of us. We choose to find our own escape routes, and like to enjoy some part of, or we have a stressful time, or to relax it, or in that. So nothing wrong in that. That's all fine. But then we got into something like we got into the addiction, or sometimes it is substance abuse, or like it is like compulsive behavior. Our pattern changes, behavior. We seek enjoyment in certain kind of behavior of ours. This is the addiction area. So we fall into trap of it. I shared my own story, like more than a decade I suffered from alcoholism. I attend from Alcoholic Anonymous and all these things, 3 years and many things. Okay. And but that but transformation did happen, and that is a different story. That's a come to that that I didn't touch any alcohol for the last 13 years, not a single drop. That's a different story. But it does happen because we are so stressed. We are this uh, like bombarded with all this kind of thing, this kind of selfishness and other things, and we cannot do anything about it. And in the whatever we that the turmoil and chaos that life, normal life offers us, and another also source of that is too much of commercialization and too much of interference in our life by so-called social media nowadays. So that is another thing. Somebody was telling we have now two problems in this world. One is the population, too much people, and secondly is too much information. So much information bombarded from all directions. The social media is a big part of that. So earlier people say that if somebody has to communicate something, that has to write a book or article, and it takes a process to publish it. Then it goes to certain level of people who read it, understand it, to buy the books or buy the newspaper and all those kind of things. So there may be that there is one thought has been shared, but it takes time to trickle down into the level of common people. And here, what we have now, if you have 7 billion people, I don't know how many percentage of people are attached to that social media. Say, I don't know, maybe say 1 billion or 2 billion people. I think it is a still lower estimate. But suppose 2 billion people are sharing their thought every day. How much information it creates and how much versions it has been created. And that itself become a problem. Okay, so earlier sharing information need to have a lot of preparation, a lot of this publication itself, and then reach to the people. Now everybody is publishing their own article, their own book, their own view on the media and putting it into the public for this many 2 billion per day or something of that nature. Everybody is giving their own view. So that disturbs our mind and it becomes a chaotic. Just be in that, just be into pool of that. So many people and so many views itself is a chaotic life we are facing. And of course, those are the avenues of other things, addictions and other things. We said we try to help ourselves, something we need, some kind of escape route of those kind of things. We didn't know how it happened. But we have to face it because we have to run our lives. We have to face it. So the path of addiction and relaxation and escape route and all those things, whatever, when escape route and then addiction, etc., it may, most of the cases, it landed up to unmanageability of our life because those kinds of things, the substance abuse, drug of your choice, or liquid, solid, or what is called pepper, whatever it is, form it is, or any kind of compulsive behavior. It can be overeating, it can be shopping, it can be physical attraction, and all those kinds of things that has got a consequence. And also, these things bind huge karma for us. Nothing is free. Every cause has an effect. So we bind karma, lot of karma. The way to not to bind karma is no harm to anything or anyone. If you operate your life through that, then you bind no karma. But when we are under influence of something, some addiction, and the selfishness element comes, that I need to please myself no matter what happens to others, because when you pick up those kinds of attitude, I'm just saying that is a quite normal outcome of this kind of lifestyle. And then we ended up creating karma, and we have to settle no other way. And it goes into lifetime after lifetime. I shared out of maybe more than 500 plus past lifetime as a human being. I have myself seen 70. If I wish, you can see more also of some important. I've seen how it works. It's not that easy that I got my way and I win this. The win, in the process of winning, if you harm something or someone, it will come back to you for sure. Okay, that's law of karma. It's like energy balance. Okay, that's a different. I'm not going into law of karma now. Just saying, I'm saying that we means I normally give a teaching saying that pleasure is temporary, karma is permanent. Like if you have through all these means of addictions, you maybe have a nice time, but in the process, if you do harm somebody or someone, that karma you have to carry on. That karma will come back to you. If not this life, it will go in next life. So that is a permanency. The pleasure will go after the next morning, maybe, but the karma will stay. So be careful into that. That is why the awareness and understanding is needed. And I'm just telling from my personal experience. I'm not giving lecture. But of course, we have a free will, right to choose not to take up any advice. That is always we have. Yeah, there is no such thing. Call you have to do something. And maybe it is everything has its own time. Maybe you have to undergo certain experiences in life as per our karma, and that will come and that will happen. Anyway, so now let us come to the word called serenity. Okay, what is serenity? Serenity is inner peace, the calmness, the tranquility, or the stillness of mind. I normally give that the chaos and turmoil is just like a surface of a sea, which facing a storm, like a huge wave, and a lot of things. Serenity is the same sea when you go deep, maybe 20, 30 meters deep, and even below, then there is a powerful calmness. It is not getting easily disturbed by air or any kind of storm or rain or whatever it is happening on its surface. That inner state is a very powerful, very calm. And it maintains its state no matter what happens outside. Our serenity is like that. It is the inner peace or the domain of tranquility within us. It needs to be experienced. It cannot be imported. Okay. So this is all these things many millions of people has undergone with all this chaotic life and all. They have to finally choose a path towards serenity, to bring the balance into their life. And that particular has to come when they go deep inside, like a sea, I said. Serenity cannot be found on the surface. You can just keep on moving in the search of where is the most peaceful sea or most calm sea. Maybe it will come for certain time. Some wind came or some storm came or some rain came, etc., etc. That kind of calmness is gone. Now it's creating big wave and all those kind of things there. So it cannot be found on the surface. It can be found only you go deep inside. So that is the serenity. And serenity is from all the, I was mentioning about addiction, and all addictions have been also, there is a help group. There is, I was mentioning Alcoholic Anonymous. There are many other groups. The path to come out of that, path out of the addiction and out of the chaos, unmanageability of life, and to achieve the serenity, there is a process. It has been followed. I have also undergone that process of that. And that process is important for us to understand and to go there. They start with something called serenity prayer. Okay, serenity prayer is, I will just, I will post it into the group. I will also, now I'm just reading it for you. And what happens is with the life become too much chaotic, etc. There are a lot of people who doesn't lose trust in so-called God or somebody higher. So in the name of God also they become very angry. So that's why many programs, they drop the word God. There is nothing they call God. And if in my sessions also, I avoid using the word God, because God means different to different people. It's a universal consciousness or higher self or higher power. Also, many program they use it, but the serenity prayer is same. The serenity prayer. Now I'm just sharing with you what those kinds of groups, the help groups, they offer. What people they have to practice daily, or anytime they feel their mental thing has been disbalanced, or they are dragging towards that this kind of addictions and all those things. Then they take help of a prayer to pray. To whom they believe. Forget about to whom, that I just explained. It is not important. The prayer to whom you believe, you can pray this. Grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I just read it again. The serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change, the courage to change what I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Three things. One is grant me the serenity. Serenity for what? To accept what I cannot change in my life. Second is courage to change what I can. So, courage to change what I can. There comes our lot of experiences, a lot of trial and error we have done with our life. I'm just sharing my conclusion. My conclusion is I cannot change the world. I cannot change my circumstances. I cannot change my so called external life. It is beyond me. What I can do, what I can change is only myself. I can change only myself. That is the turning point of my life, when I give the focus from outside to inside, like to change me. Mahatma Gandhi said, whatever change you want to see in the world, start from yourself. You be that first. It has got a deep spiritual understanding and meaning and wisdom. So the second was, it's telling the courage to change what I can. And third part is very, very important, and the wisdom to know the difference. So the out of this exercise, like acceptance, give me the serenity, the peace of mind, the calmness, so that I can accept the things. How we do that? We go into those points right now, but just I'm completing the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change in my life. Courage, the courage to change what I can, which is, as I shared, only my life only. For me only, I cannot change anybody else or anything else. And the wisdom to know the difference. In the process, I will attain the wisdom, and that will help me to retain that serenity in my life. I will share this in the group later on, but now let us move on to that. So, as we understand from this serenity prayer, and by the way, this serenity prayer has helped millions to come out of this chaos in their life, unmanageability of their life, with or without addiction. And some people even say that somebody may not be physically addicted to something, but mentally they are addicted. So that the element of addiction is there. Everything creates that kind of chaos into their life. Serenity prayer is a first step to come out of that. Sometimes they do ritualistically, daily, few times, the serenity prayer. This prayer I just said. So the purpose of serenity prayer is to start the journey towards from outer to inner. And that now, now I'm coming to our own learning. So We have to learn through serenity prayer. First, it is about changing our mindset, looking at the things, accept of everything as they are. We realize, including self, including ourself as we are. Acceptance of everything. Everything has been, I am not the creator of everything around me. Somebody has created it, or someone has created it, or something has created it. Some higher power has created it. Some like universal consciousness has created it. The creator has created it. The source has created it. I am not me. That's the truth. And everything has a purpose. To understand the purpose, first part is to accept it. I cannot learn something or understand its purpose if I don't accept it to start with. If I don't accept the fact that I have only 2 hands, I don't have 10 hands, I cannot use this hand. I keep on complaining what happened to my 9 more set of hands. Okay. Like Goddess Durga, where I need that. I need to run my life. I need those hands. Two hands are too less. Okay, you can keep complaining. But you cannot find a purposeful use of what you have, these 2 hands, unless until you accept it. You keep on complaining. This complaint itself brings turmoil and chaos in our life. I just give an example of 2 hands. This particular thing is applicable all areas of our life. If you see that if you actually do research on any aspect of your life, you will come to know the source of your unhappiness in your life is not anybody else or selfish people and the big bad world and your boss is one of the terrorists and all this kind of things. They may be there, but that is not most important factor. Important factor is that there's something happening in your life, you don't like it, you don't accept it. And that non-acceptance has created the turmoil and the chaos in your life. It is not anybody else. It is you who didn't accept what is, including yourself. Plenty, if you go to the level of, say, honest survey, plenty of us, we don't like us. Okay, we know how crooked we ourselves are, what we did to others. Different means, whenever some power has come in your hand, how we use the power. Did I use it for helping others or elevating others, lifting others? Or we use it for our personal benefit? Or even if you do something for others, did we publicize it, post it in the Facebook and other things so that all others should know that how kind I am? Okay, that means purpose is not that. We don't care. If something we helped and what happened to him or her. Really, you did follow up and checked. Anyway, let us go into that. But when we understand that, there is a term called Dhua Tulsi Pata in Bengali, and it's Dhula Hua Tulsi leaf. It means nobody is pure. It is fact. So how can I accept myself? I know that so many lacuna, the things I have. This key to that acceptance, because everything starts from you, so you have to accept yourself first. You tell yourself, I'm now giving the clue. Tell yourself, I am not perfect, which is truth, which is fact. But for that, I'm not perfect, I need not to hate myself. I need to accept myself as I am. Because that is a starting point, foundation stone for improvement. That improvement cannot come if I keep on criticizing myself in this case, everybody else, okay, but also myself as well. How I do that? I start saying, accepting myself as I am with all my lacunas. I tell myself, nobody is perfect in this world. Nobody. Whoever has taken birth, even as a very big enlightened master, also have some lacunas. Okay, also have some bias. Something is there. It is a part of this world, the duality. We cannot go beyond that. So we do have our positive and negative, and it is also said that every glass is half empty and half full. It matters which area we're looking into. True that you should look into whatever you have full, the half whatever you have to accept it, that this I have, this half is empty inside me. If I accept, then path towards learning, the growth and thing is possible. And if I keep criticizing myself, that is not possible. So I accept myself as I am. I know I have a lot of faults and lacuna, and but the truth is everybody is work in progress. I'm also work in progress. I am ready. I accept myself and ready to work on that. That is what is the second part coming on the serenity prayer. Courage to things, the courage to change the things I can. So this courage will come from the acceptance of who you are. And then only the improvement is possible. Then only you will be ready to change. When you are ready, divine will send you the masters or guides or whatever you need. But you have to be ready to go there. Everything is possible. There are a lot of knowledge available. By the way, I'm not talking about social media knowledge. Huh? Be careful. I'm talking the wisdom. Okay. That wisdom will come to you when you are ready. Okay. So then when we accept that path starts as we think, then what we need to learn out of the wisdom that is coming in the serenity prayer, it is mentioned, we learn fundamentally two things. One is we replace the judgment on anything, good, bad, and all those things, judgment and our tendency to control things, control people. Replace it with kindness. Instead of judgment, we have a kindness, we have a empathy. You know, we don't criticize somebody. We know that that person is not intelligent, but we need not to criticize. That kindness in us, that in your own quality will come the kindness and forgiveness. All this coming out of that. Once we stop judging, and there is a saying also that life is too short to judge people. That is so true. It is coming from a higher level of spiritual understanding. And second is control. The tendency to control. Whoever is so-called under us, we tend to control them, control them and make them to our liking. And in that process, the chaos comes eventually. The unmanageability, the turmoil comes because we want to control things or control people, their behavior. They are undergoing, they are also living their life. So sometimes they rebel. They don't like control. Nobody likes. Freedom is our birthright, and we are energetically sovereign. Okay, so that need to be replaced with a pure love, not control. If we love everything around us, then eventually that we get connection, we get things, people will do something for us unconditionally that can never be achieved. Something done out of pure love cannot be replaced with issuing an order or law or compulsion of somebody. Once we understand that, then we master the art of loving others, then we transcend that duality consciousness towards unity consciousness. Okay, I think this time is almost out. I will post our link in the next our group So this session may be over at any time. Your call ends in 3 minutes. Okay, 2 more minutes are there. We will continue. Then we'll just put the link. As initial part, I have explained about the camp, etc. So how we are getting a little bit. Our learning is a little bit to go to the next phase of the second half as well. So okay, but it is important to know that. So the key is what we said, that it is about to understanding of these two things, two parameters, and understanding with kindness and love. If you, that is the path towards that, and that will come just to be centering ourselves. Serenity can come only in the present moment, and that opens up the connection to your consciousness, and the consciousness is full of love, full of peace and abundance and all those things. That path opens up there. Opposite to that, the serenity what I'm talking here is in the physical level. We have something called boredom. I think now it is almost time. We'll discuss about this boredom business in the second half. So see you in the other half of this. So, okay, all right. I just will go out and come back again with a new link. God bless. Yeah, I posted the Serenity prayer in the group, so you can read it later on, or you can save it. And this prayer, as I mentioned, you can address it to anyone you believe, including you can say Babaji, or if any deity, if you believe, and if no one, just say my higher self, and then start that. You can have this prayer daily. To this is the good prayer and very simple to memorize and understand. It will start your, it will bring your focus to, it will change your subconsciously. It will go into that, and it'll finally, it will be the pathway to that, your serenity. Okay. Now let us come back to our, the topics, and we'll continue with our all the points here. So we already were talking about that we feel the boredom. The boredom comes is when we say there is nothing to do and it is wasting our time. That is a feeling we have. It's called boredom. Serenity, it looks like that, but it is not actually that. Serenity is doing nothing. Boredom is nothing to do, and serenity is doing nothing, and boredom was wasting time. You feel like you're wasting your time, and serenity is enjoying your time. You're connected, you're rooted in time, you're enjoying the joy of being comes into play here. So serenity is not about doing something, and neither it is not a bore. It will not lead you to the boredom, or wasting, like feeling like wasting of time. Rather than you're enjoying the time, that is the serenity, with absolute inner peace and calm. That is a state you will be achieving, and you can, as mentioned earlier, it is the inner peace of calm, tranquility, and stillness of mind, and there is no thought. And thoughts are normally create a lot of chaos, havoc with us. So that we already explained in many other sessions, so I'm not going there. But it is also applicable here. Okay. So the next is about, so we understand that the replace judgment with control, and control with kindness and love. That is a spiritual tool we use to achieve the serenity. To maintain the serenity, like as we said, the purpose is to not to get into chaos of our life, but to find inner peace through what? What makes that inner peace to happen? Inner peace will happen by finding our life purpose and the truth. Truth liberates us and the role in the grand scheme of things. So when we, through our own sadhana, our own practices, when we, through meditation and other practices or other teaching and Kriya, meditation, etc., whatever we have learned, this is the open up our awareness and understanding of our own life. And when we do that, then we lead into see the truth of grand scheme of things, how beautiful the universe is, how the creation is so beautiful, and how what role we are playing here. That becomes our understanding of the purpose of life. And it is when that understanding comes, it is also in the spiritual terms, it is known as the journey from artha to paramartha. Like whatever's tangible to intangible, whatever is the gross towards the subtle and the higher. Physical dimension to fifth dimension and higher, the energy dimension and the higher dimension. So this is the travel, this is the things, and it opens up. It gives us the understanding, our role, in individual role, the collective role, and the role of the whole, the world and the universe. And we come to know of this understanding of exactly what we are doing here on planet Earth and what is the purpose of our life in the grand scheme of things. That itself is bring us the inner peace and the serenity within us. Then we are not getting disturbed by minor things, whatever is happening around us. If you see check whatever happening your life maybe 5 years back, now if you look back and see those are not important at all, and this maybe you give too much importance of something which is actually doesn't matter. Okay, but this wisdom you will find even when facing it. Something bad happen, you will not lose your peace of mind. From that inner peace and from that connection, from the inner power, the guidance will come and show you the way, show you the light. That is the living a purposeful life. And in this, and the last point, I just wanted to mention the importance of being with wise ones. That is, if you can get in touch with the spiritual persons who are elevated, and just the simple connection, the energetic connection will help you to maintain that and attain the life of bliss and liberation. And that bonding should be with a love and gratitude. It is not transactional. It is nothing to do give and take. Because when somebody elevates, it is like a sun. It gives the light and sunshine to everyone. It is not transactional. We need not to pay bill for it. Same with the spiritual masters and the higher beings. The wise ones, if we get in touch with them with our humility, with attitude of gratitude and loving surrender, and then we can maintain our path towards bliss and liberation. Nobody is demanding you to subjugate you, demanding you anything that you have to do it, you have to do these things for me, and you have to, like do pranam to me or you salute to me. No need. No need means they don't expect. Their expectation is zero from anyone or anything in this world. They are completely surrendered and connected. So only thing is by your connection to them, the pathway opens, the flow, the divine grace flow through them to you, because they are the agents of the divine, the physical representation, which is near you, to whom you can approach, you can talk, you can call. So that energetic connection is much, much better. And if possible, bring them be in their physical proximity, if whenever the time permits or the opportunity comes. Just being in that field, energy field, your own ascension will be much, much faster. You need not to do anything. Just you have to be in the acceptance, maintain the they are already in the serenity state. They are also in the little higher state, that serenity, which is called equanimity. I will have another session to explain that. They are in equanimity, so nothing can actually disturb them. It is like I explained earlier, as a surface of the sea to the deep sea. So if you dive into the deep sea, to retain there, you have to be into that field. You already developed that power, and this what is needed to be into that level of the deep level, and which is then it will be, you will get also into that mode, and that will be your key for your own liberation, and that will be your own spiritual journey and towards the ultimate liberation, the paramartha, artha to paramartha. So in the presence of masters, that will be accelerated. And being in the company means get in touch with, not once, try to be in the regular touch. Be in that energy field, be into that. It may not be, and also, one thing we need to understand, that whenever any master or anything, so-called satsang, try to attend the satsang, but without any kind of expectation. It is not a, just I'm saying that what importance of satsang is that energetic connection, the love. They are showering love, they're connected to infinite love, and love is showering, oozing out of them. So you get that share of that, and your life changes, even if without knowing. This is, as first of all, it is never a transactional, and secondly, it is not an entertainment show. So don't go by the words. No matter what the word is, okay. Word may be simple. How is our life going, and all? What is happening? What your bacche kya kar rahe hain, and all. Maybe it's like that. Very common words, but the connection will establish that energetic pathway. It will reach you, and it will heal you from the core. And all these things, slowly, slowly, the karmic things, karmic bondages, and all those things will be loosened up, and you will be elevated. All those things, so the strings which is pull you down get cut one by one, and it will be going higher and higher. Okay, so that is the service the masters are doing for us. So, and in our case, we have been guided by Mahavatar Babaji. And Mahavatar Babaji, and maybe during actual workshops, Varanasi and all, I will go into something of some interactions and understanding of that in detail. So it is not a minor thing. It takes lifetimes of spiritual attainment to come to a level that when we get a connection with Babaji. Okay, so just don't let this opportunity go. Nobody will force you to do anything. Okay, it is your choice, your free will. But out of choice, out of all those things, we have to run our life and get that ultimate liberation in this life itself. The opportunity is here. Just I have been asked to share with you one more thing here. By the way, lot of us, even on the spiritual, we are on the spiritual journey, but we're facing a lot of difficult situation in our life. Serenity is one of them that to achieve, and that is fine. But it is also the understanding. This connection will give you all the power to overcome any obstacle you may face. It may be coming out of anywhere, karmic or whatever it is. It will be taken care of. This particular aspect, our challenge will be, the wisdom will be, what wisdom you will gain out of that meeting and other things. You will get all the tools Of course, you will get all the spiritual tools how to deal with your life. If you go through even our weekly sessions, you will come to know how many different types of topics we discussed and the spiritual approach to all those things. But it's already available to you. In addition to that, I'm just sharing one thing from the life. We need to also learn how not to lose our goodness with so much badness that so-called the world is offering to us and hitting us at every moment. That is the challenge. It is not easy. In fact, it is easier to become a selfish, become one of these. We shared, I've seen my past life many times. We say, okay, yeah, nothing, it's not helping me and all those things. What gain of all those things? So we got into all these kind of things, and our mind, whatever convinced me to do something, I've got into. But those are detours. This life, I realized no matter how badly the life hits me, afterward, I will not deviate from the goodness, whatever we achieved, whatever the quality of heart we're able to achieve in this lifetime. And that is the challenge. Maybe there will be somebody I might have helped and they cheated me, but I will not retaliate, because then I have to come down from my goodness. No matter what the excuse is, it happened to all the masters, by the way. It's not a new thing what I'm saying. Look at Jesus Christ. Look at Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Many people has criticized them and tried to hurt them, and all the masters they have done. They face all this. Gautam Buddha, everybody, they faced all these things, difficult things from common people, the society, so called. But they didn't. They didn't leave their path and the goodness. So when you complete the journey, then you will be rewarded with Paramartha. World is basically neti neti. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it will go at the time of death. But you learn, come out of the way, we completing your journey. And contrary to other things, life is not about winning every time. It is about, we can say the life journey is called Ferris wheel. So on the first part, you learn, get things, maybe earn and all this, reach to the peak. Second half, you have to keep know how to give, how to shade your load, and then coming back to the zero when you started, and that completes the journey. It is not the same. You have full experience now to completing the journey. So this journey, you have to maintain that. You cannot go to the top of the Ferris wheel and expect it to stay there all the time. That's what people are doing. When the life itself is a normal movement, it started giving them chance to come down and then to do something which is necessary to complete their journey. They're reluctant. And that is the reason the chaos and calamity happens and the turmoil happens, because their expectation, they don't want to come down. Okay. They think it will keep on growing high and high and high. It is not possible. Everything has gone up, has to come down. If life has come, death has to happen. Okay, so this is the truth. It is better to understand the truth and go with the flow of life. That's it. All right, with this complete this learning session. So if you have any the question, then you can just ask now. Okay, Indranilda, go ahead, please.
Good evening. Very basic question, actually. Now, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Idle mind has a negative connotation, right? How is it as opposed to an empty mind?
Mhm. Okay, good question. So this idle mind is not an empty mind. Okay, like a idle land is not an empty land. It only means nobody is taking care of that, and so any kind of weeds and all these things will come and to feel it anyway. Okay, a lot of unnecessary tree bushes and this that will come. Maybe it will become a jungle. Something will happen. So that is what has happens to our idle mind. It occupied by something which is unwanted, unnecessarily. You don't want to do it. The way forward is a maintained land. Even though there is a nothing, you have to consciously maintain that, remove these weeds. Maybe it's just a grass lawn, it's fine, but it is well maintained, well watered, and well, kept, so that it is maintained blank. It is not easy. Devil's workshop means you are not taking care of that, you left that, you are not doing anything. That part is correct. But you are not putting an effort to maintain that emptiness. That's why all the problems come. That it becomes a devil's workshop.
So you're not clearing the clutter.
Yes, it will come anyway, and normally that is come. If they come from all whatever is available, they will come there and occupy. Like suppose you have a house in a city and nobody is living there. Something or else maybe some criminal element or something, they will occupy the house and they will run some show for free from there. It will not be left like that. People will come to know and it will be utilized for that purpose. To do that, you have to maintain it, put it under lock and key, then it will be secured and provide all the security, then it will be maintained. Then it will not be a devil's workshop. That will be a possibility of something which is constructive, which is positive, and which is beneficial.
Correct. Thank you.
That is the same thing here. So by the way, that reminds me of something. There is something called mindfulness meditation. Yeah. So there's mindfulness. A lot of masters say that it is not a correct terminology. Mindfulness means mind is full. Normally, mind is full of thoughts. Okay. That is not the meditation. Mind emptiness is the meditation. How to get rid of thoughts. That is what we need to put an effort to keep that in the empty of the mind. So mind emptiness may be the right kind of words because that's the right meaning it will convey. So mindfulness, if it is not alert, then if it is full of thoughts, it is not a meditation anymore. That is why the devil's workshop and other things, those kind of things comes. And to understand that, also let me tell you who creating those thoughts. Those thoughts are created by ego. And those kinds of ego definitely has its selfish motive. From where all the selfishness and all those business came. Selfishness is not any illegal thing in this world. Everybody to be selfish and all those things, but when selfishness hampers others, affect others, then we have to be careful. Selfishness if we use constructively, and it will be good to strengthen you. But selfishness is coming from grabbing something from others and just your own profit, your own betterment. That is where it is dragging you down eventually. Okay. Anyway, but I hope I answered your question. That is what.
Thank you.
That's what that empty mind does. Okay. Any other question? Okay. All right. So if there is no further question, so we'll go into our Kriya and meditation. Let's sit straight. Breathe in and breathe.